It's November in Montana. My friend Eric Siegfried and I have our general season deer tags, and we are out to fill the freezer. Unfortunately, so is everyone else with a deer tag during this time of year. Eric, being the founder of OnX, is an absolute pro at finding creative spots, and this one is only publicly accessible through river access. It looks great on the map, but e-scouting only shows you so much. Now it's time to put our plans into action and get on the river.
There's no other public access point via public road to this, only through water.
A steep trail, a deep canyon, and a cold, icy river are all features that can help weed out the competition from hunting areas. I find if a canoe is needed, the competition gets even slimmer. The river makes a little bit more effort, but I feel like your brain gets going more for like the reward side of things too. It's a really interesting game, and it's definitely a game because you can't ever think that you're the only person to ever have the idea. Nobody likes to get wet in these temperatures, so I always include a safety talk, no matter who is in the boat. Getting in, like best thing, get your paddle all the way across on both gunnels. These are the gunnels. Put your hand in the middle, and that's the best way to get in and out of the boat. This river is only knee deep, but it still pays to throw a few straps on your load. A little shift could make things more than a little wet. Okay, now this will be the fun part. So reach out and make that grab on the water on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Like you're against the current?
back.
Yes, exactly, yep.
Okay.
Woohoo! That's good.
We're getting close. It should be right around this bend here.
Hunting spots like this ensure two things. You'll see fewer people, but the people you do see will be just as motivated as you are. Everything looks good except for when you look across the river, there's a couple of other canoes there. I mean, it's just like pulling up to the trailhead and having a truck in front of you. Yeah. So, but they did leave their beer. Yeah. So there's a plan B. I always practice friendly competition. After a brief chat, we decided to hang back and set up camp on the river while this group gets first opportunity at whatever is on the ridge. That being said, we've got a great camp, the rut is on, and we have a few days to explore new country. It's time to head across the river and see what we can turn up. Does it feel like you've been just messing around all day? Kind of. And you can just kind of stay to the left, right? Correct? Or
yeah, I think so. We'll have to watch it closely, like right at the beginning.
This particular piece of ground lacks signage and fencing that visibly indicates public from private. To make matters more complicated, the area isn't a uniform piece. There are areas that scream public that are private, and even areas that look private that are actually public. Very rarely do you see like the actual checkerboard so laid out.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like, nope, that is that square and this is this square. During the railway boom of the mid-1800s, railroad companies were given subsidies of land comprised of 640 acres. Much of the land in the American West is still divided in this format, with ownership between public and private entities alternating in a pattern like that of a checkerboard. In some areas, it's left us with big chunks of highly accessible public land, while others are virtually inaccessible without a helicopter, or, in our case, a canoe. To put it mildly, OnX has become a necessity for places with mixed public and private access. Now that we have a little feel for the country, we're up early the next morning and heading for high ground. gonna be a whole new day when that sun hits, I'll tell you that. There's definitely some deer on public ground. They're just completely surrounded by private. Yeah, looks like awesome country for a big old mule deer. All right, man. I'll chat with you about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Be safe. Find something. This is good looking stuff. It's very hard to believe that you wouldn't see deer like feeding out of these bottoms. Basically like a small national park back here. And a frustrating thing to me, but very beneficial thing to me, is that a lot of folks are like, man, if I can't drive into it, it's worthless. Which is, again, good for me. Oh, Eric found some signs of life. The day is coming to a close, and I haven't seen much. It's time to head back to camp. Right there. He's behind a tree and I don't have a shot. I don't know what happened right there, but I'm gonna grab my stuff and walk out this way and see if I can see that buck again. And if not, I'm gonna drop in there and look for blood. But looking at the yardage right now and not through the scope, pretty darn close. If anything, I was high. Burned the last of the light looking for clues. Man, looked like a miss. And which it just leads, it's good to miss, like have a clean miss, but it also makes you be like, whoa, how could I miss? I'm not gonna pull the trigger unless I know I'm gonna kill something. So a lot to think about on a long walk home. Yeah, you can just kind of aim for that same spot that we were on yesterday. It's not quite shooting light yet, but you can see plenty of deer with your naked eye. But it looks like a monster-bodied whitetail down where you had all those big bucks.
Yeah.
If you're cool with it, I'm gonna leave you to the hot action. I want to try to accomplish a couple of things. Just set my mind at ease on what happened yesterday. So I'm gonna find a spot back in here and shoot that gun again. I'm not above saying that I missed, but I definitely want to make sure it was me doing the missing. I missed. I can deal with missing, but I can't deal without knowing why. There's plenty of hunt time left. We put a lot of effort into planning this trip and getting here. I need to figure out what's happening. Burning a good part of the day and doing something that I should have been able to take care of the first time at home. Sighting in your weapon while on the hunt is never ideal, but after a couple of adjustments, I feel confident that I am back in action. Sure, I kind of feel like the deck's stacking against me a little bit. Got confidence issues. I need to get back on top of my game. This is the queen mother of petrified wood finds. Look at this. This is amazing. To put together a trip like this and say it's all about deer or all about meat is a flat out lie. There are easier ways requiring less time, money, and skill. I'm not saying that each and every one of my hunts needs to be pretty, but there are definitely certain boxes that I like to check off. You probably do too. It's tough because you pick spots like this, not really for the deer. The idea of some big deer is the driver, but you pick spots like this that are hard because you want that adventure. You want to get out and check out some big new country. We're gonna secure this to the end of the trot line.
Okay.
We're gonna secure the other end with one of those big long sand stakes, and we're gonna stretch this thing out, drop it in that corner.
Oh yeah.
When we take the canoe across and see if we can't catch a catfish. Now, the only successful hunting that we've had this whole trip has been this little intruder in our tent, and I figure if our luck's gonna change, we gotta rely on a big old channel cat.
Can you get that away from my face?
Considering my recent lack of shooting ability, I am in need of a win. A trot line is a form of set it and forget it fishing. Regulations vary, but here, one line can have 6 hooks. Of course, we only have bait for one. In theory, while we are out hunting, the catfish will come hook itself and we'll haul it in for dinner. I'll put my name and license number on the line attached to a stake on the bank, then we'll stretch the line out and drop the anchor into the deepest hole we can find. This is a grisly deal. In the past, trot lines set in the morning and picked up at night have provided me great camp meat. I'm hoping this time is no different.
Okay, straight ahead.
It's the last big day. And we had another group of hunters come down the river first thing this morning. We could have had a foot race, but decided to hang out, have a cup of coffee, and set a trot line instead of dealing with that. With another group of hunters filing in for the weekend, we adjust our game plan. Eric and I decide our best odds will be to split up. Eric is heading in deep where the public land is more straightforward, but it's also the same direction as the other group of hunters. I am going to sit where I know I'll find deer, but they'll be traveling through that checkerboard of public and private land. See what you can find. And we'll see you this evening.
Okay, sounds good.
against my wandering tendencies, I'm here where the deer are. If something were to come in to the public ground in the right way, I can shoot from here, but more than likely I'm gonna have to move, especially with this wind. There's two just monster whitetails straight across from me. They're heading up into the timber, which is cool. Maybe they'll run into Eric eventually if they keep going.
Hopped right up to a damn nice buck.
The property boundary's right down here. We'll probably run into a fence that goes across this ditch.
While I'm mentally pushing deer Eric's way, a potential shooter slips right under my nose and back onto private ground.
I saw them right behind this tree. Straight beyond it, so we're gonna creep to the side and see how far it is and take a look. He came back out. Well, I better stay on here. Jeez.
There's about an hour left. And hoping something happens here. Another opportunity, another miss. Just in a bad headspace right now. I just need a lot more time with this gun is what it's coming down to, and I'm running out of time here for my season. With no private access and no sign of an injured deer, I pack up and head for camp, feeling good for the deer and bad for myself. No matter how tough of a day you may have had, you can't help but put it behind you when your hunting partner walks into camp with a smile on his face and a rack strapped to his pack. Take right at the fat cap here, then come down your main lines. Basically what you're trying to do is just make this thing flat. That was just to get you started there.
Wow, beautiful.
What do you think?
So good.
Good like tenderloin good, or good like edible, passable?
Tenderloin good. Or loin good, yeah.
It's good, man.
That's good.
Yeah. Really pack some of Mom's farm fresh eggs out here. If you go overcook on this, you get this fine putty-like texture good hunting story, heart and liver cooked medium rare, a warm fire on a cold night. These things erase any misgivings or doubts about this trip and the time spent. That piece was lovely. What do you think, man? Was it all worth it?
I think so. I mean, the adventure, I love the float, getting that all set up. Checking out the property boundaries, figuring it all out. I love that part of it.
All right. Not a lot of high hope here, but we're gonna see if the mouse did its job.
All right,
Cool.
let's take it out.
Oh boy. It's not starting out good.
Is this normal?
No. I don't see any big catfish bellies flipping down there. Eric and I tried a new spot, a tough spot, a hard one to get to, and we got a great buck. Well, I could go without the misses, without the weed-filled trot line, and other hunters in the area. I don't dwell on those things. Instead, I appreciate the opportunity this diverse and sometimes complicated system of public land and access provides. I look forward to another cold morning paddle before the sun rises and another season of planning the next adventure. The next spot may just be it.